other tournaments?
We have a distribution deal with our network there, with Match TV, and we will continue airing the fights, but as far as coming in to do a live event, I think it will be tied around Fedor's retirement fight. So as that happens, we will come in and do an event. And it'll include all the great Russian fighters: Minakov, Kreshkov, Fedor, Nemkov, Tokov. I mean, we have so many great Russian fighters that we could have a whole event, Russia versus the world at that point in Bellator, to be honest.
In Japan, so what kind of impact do you see?
I'll tell you, I think that in the MMA world, all eyes will be on Japan on the 29th and the 31st. I believe that the cross-promotion of fights between Bellator and Rizin has created a lot of interest. It's just a lot of fun matchups that started with Horiguchi fighting Caldwell. And, I saw the impact last year. I saw what it did in the United States for Horiguchi and how popular he became and how his popularity grew. Winning the cross promotion fight, I think people really appreciate it as a martial arts fan.
Events in Russia, especially in Moscow, and will there be a couple of tournaments, Bellator tournaments in Russia, or only one come in Moscow?
One of the things I'm really proud of is our Russian fighters that have done very well in Bellator. When we signed Fedor to the 3-fight deal, we said we're going to come to Japan first, and we will have another fight sometime maybe late summer, early fall, somewhere else. I think that's going to be probably in Europe or maybe in the Middle East somewhere. And let's finish in Moscow. Because here you have honestly the greatest fighter of all time. He is definitely the GOAT. And I want him to go out on his terms and to have people respect his journey. And we think we should finish his journey in Moscow. So depending on what happens with this fight and then the next date, and injuries happen, things happen. So the quickest I think it would happen is at the end of 2020. If not, maybe sometime in the beginning of 2021. But that's kind of the timing. I would like to time it around Fedor's last fight.
You have, maybe watching through the tournaments, the fights on the 29th or 31st, bring some Japanese fighters to Bellator.
Yes, absolutely. That's one of the benefits of doing these fights is to see the talent and the new talent growing in Japan, which, hopefully we will be able to sign some of the top prospects and fight them all over the world. Bellator is a company that does 30 fights, I think in 15 different countries around the world now. Has, I want to say, a distribution deal of, 140 different countries have the ability to watch Bellator now. And it'll be aired here in Japan on Rizin, on DAZN. So, it's exciting because when I was here in Japan working in 2000 to 2007, there was a time where Japan had all the talent. And it was just an exciting time, and there's so many great martial arts organizations at that time, and it still is today. So it's just a matter of time of just kind of being patient and not just finding the next talent, but maybe signing them and developing them and investing in them, like we do the U.S. fighters or the British fighters or even the Irish fighters. We definitely will be here looking at the talent to bring them into our company.
Two questions. The media asked about Japanese fighters. One of them is Tenshin Nasukawa. Of course, he not competed MMA a little bit while, but did you have any interest in of him? What's your opinion about his performance?
Yeah, I think he's a great kickboxer. We are talking currently about maybe having him fight for us in Europe. We will be going to France this year. We will be going to Amsterdam, and we do fights in Milan. In those territories, we will do kickboxing as part of the offering because kickboxing is very popular, and so I think he would fit naturally in there because he's, you know, if he's not the best fighter in his weight class, he's definitely one of the best fighters. So don't be surprised if you see him fight for us sometime next year in Europe.
質問としましては、那須川選手、日本人
And my last question is about Ryzen have a title fight in 31st. We see Kaya Sakura doing a great job. He have a tough opponent in that fight. But did you see any possibility to probably, because you know Horiguchi relinquished the title, he got a hard injury right now. Probably he not can compete soon. And did you see some future from this kid?
Yeah, the situation with Horiguchi getting injured is not going to be a deterrent for us to do title fights together. You know, where a champion from Ryzen can win the Bellator belt as well as the Ryzen belt. It's unfortunate because it was such a big injury. Horiguchi is a great fighter. He beat my guy twice, so I can't say anything about that. But you know, when he's healthy, he can come back, he can fight again. But his injury will not stop us from doing it. We will do it again for sure.